All right, everyone, welcome back into another fantasy golf video. Going to be breaking down the Farmers Insurance Open here for you guys. Get into a quick recap of round one, and then talking about the best showdown picks and bets that we can be on for round two. Let's go on and get into it. So round one started off pretty interesting. Even before golfers teed off, we had Willie Z ended up withdrawing, a player that we knew was probably going to be coming in a little bit higher owned than he should be. I don't know if that's like a good thing or a bad thing that he ended up withdrawing. A lot of people were able to get off of him. For me, for round one showdown purposes, he was going to be my highest owned player. That actually meant that I had a lot of bad builds because I had to adjust and get to kind of line of constructions that were not as good, which was unfortunate there, but did in a weird way kind of feel like a lot of people got bailed out by that. Now, Gary Woodland was a player that withdrew as well. Wasn't on him. He wasn't really on the radar. I was actually pretty surprised as ownership. Those two players were actually two players that if you guys have been looking at the ownership leverage tool, they're both coming up as players that you might have been fading because they're a little bit too high owned. Now, other than that, round one really kind of went as expected, really. Aubert went off and really played well. Hideki went off and really played well. Aaron Ryan, Taylor Pendrith, kind of had a little bit of mixed results, but, four players that I was definitely going on my way to target. The nice thing about round one is no one shot themselves out of it that were playing on kind of the south course. And then really the golfers that were playing on the north course, they really all did what you would want them to do. So very good start. I shouldn't say very good, but really, in a weird way, if you guys have been playing PGA DFS for long enough, you know what I mean. Kind of an ideal start almost in that scenario where no one really played better or worse than their expectations. So should mean good things for round two. Obviously, we're going to have some sweats. But guys, looking at the south course, it did play, a little bit over par, a little bit more difficult as expected. And so for showdown purposes for round two, obviously we're going to be wanting to target that north course. Did play about 2 under par, so much easier there on the north course as we expected. So for showdown purposes, we know we'll be targeting that course there. Now, guys, let's go ahead and get into just the general recap of how we did in round one with all of our bets. So we'll go with the good, the ugly, and then the pretty darn solid as well. So the good, first round lead in first round lead in Ludwig Aubert. And actually, we're only on 5 first round leaders because of that Willie Z withdrawal. So kind of nice there, 7 units of profit there. The ugly is 3-ball bets were absolutely terrible. Minus 6.5. We'll just round up 6.5 units there. So between the first round leads and 3-round bets, slight profit there. But where it got really good is we went 3 for 3 with the head-to-head bets, which was very nice. So net positive of about 3.5 units of profit there. Insane run out there with the 3-ball bets. Really, it's just like terrible. And that's actually been like 3 straight rounds now. And so I'm really hoping that round two here is going to be much better. And we'll start off with those 3-ball bets. And in a weird way, guys, I do think that the 3-ball bets maybe are not hitting as much as they typically do in the past. I mean, these are typically our biggest edge spots are the 3-ball bets on a per round basis. And it might just be the different courses. It might just be creating a little bit more variance than we would typically like in the data. But at the same time, it really wouldn't be shocking to just see a massive, round two here. That's something that we tend to see happen. So very interesting there, but we'll go over it. So I do want to call out these 2 players right here where we are getting ties here. We're not going to be betting on those, okay? Those are 2 spots where we're just not going to be betting on them. And what sucks is some of these spots here, we are seeing really reduced payouts. Where is it really worth that risk with, a few of these top-end golfers where if they win, we're only getting paid out like 0.62 units. So it's not exactly great there. But again, my typical strategy is I just go with these golfers that all have a 40% likelihood or better to hit. But we can kind of maybe finagle it a little bit more where we're going with those bets that are going to pay us out at least a full unit back. And so we can kind of go like this. I don't know if I actually want to be on Matt Wallace. He actually ranks out really well showdown-wise. He's going to be one of the better regression targets. But he just played absolutely terrible, and I don't know if we need to get there. Do I like Taylor Pendrith a decent amount? Brian Campbell I'm fine with. McNeely I'm fine with. We could go down the list. We are getting plenty of pretty solid bets. I will say the one I'm most surprised with here is going to be this Aaron Rye bet. This Aaron Rye bet is one that's pretty shocking to me. The fact that we're getting him at, if he wins 1.35 units on average for the 3-ball bets, that's pretty darn good. He's already one of the golfers that we expected to play well, and he went out and played well in round one. So that's a spot where I really don't mind it. And then honestly, this Taylor Pendrith one, this course, the South course, sets up much better for his game compared to something like Andrew Putnam. And I think that's kind of a good example of maybe why, again, we saw a little bit more variance in round one than maybe I expected there with these 3-ball bets, because the North course really does make it a little bit more even across the board in terms of players' ability to go out and have a good round. And so we just saw Putnam be a little bit better than Pendrith. But from there, yeah, guys, a lot of decent bets there. The one that stands out to me that would be awesome to see hit would be this one, because we're getting paid out, at least 2 units. And same thing with Daniel Berger. But again, I don't know if we exactly need to get on Daniel Berger. A lot of decent spots there. Almost too many to choose from. And again, I kind of think we'll be on the better side this time. Let's go ahead and get into some round 2 head-to-head bets as well. Again, guys, very good yesterday. 3 for 3. And in a weird way, with the way I expect the 3-ball bets to come back our way, it wouldn't be surprising to, just say, all right, maybe we don't have as good of a round 2 head-to-head wise. And again, guys, I'm just going to try to go American markets only, those more popular ones. So DraftKings, FanDuel, and BetMGM. There's other options in there if you guys have access to those books. A lot of the times, the odds will still be the same. And so first and foremost, let's see if we're getting any plus EV bets on the books, and really one on DraftKings. So DraftKings slightly is valuing Kurt Kiyama to win a little bit less than they should. The 9-to-5 data is basically giving it a push, so 0% edge there per the 9-to-5 data. So if you guys like that spot, you can get there. We'll sort of buy the 9-to-5 edge then. All right, are we getting any good spots? So this is interesting. So we did see Jason Day kind of struggle there in round 1, okay? And that was kind of the worry. Jason Day has been so hit or miss at this tournament. That's where he was like a GPP only play. You couldn't play him in cash. And it actually made him a little bit more difficult to get to just in general because of that hit or miss nature of his game here at this tournament. Now, you can look at it as like, all right, he was clearly just kind of shaking off the probably mental hurdle of really just letting a tournament win get away from him and really not being able to apply pressure on Sepp Straka when really in that round 4, it felt like Jason Day had played extremely well. He just didn't make putts. That's kind of how I'm reading it. Now, if you guys read it a little bit differently, I would also think that that makes sense. But the point here is I do expect him to have a better round 2. You can get him at minus 105 there to win that matchup. Now, one bet that I don't like here is going to be Aaron Rai losing. No, actually, I do like this one. Sorry, it's Bo Hosler losing to Aaron Rai. So Aaron Rai winning at minus 105. That is insane. Again, I don't really get what's going on there. Aaron Rai was expected to play well. He did play well. Not a terrible course for him as well. So some strange stuff there. We could go on as well. So we got Thomas Dietrich at minus 115 to beat Daniel Berger. Another pretty solid bet there. We could go down the list here, guys, but I think we should end it there. I think I'm pretty comfortable just doing 3 head-to-head bets kind of per video for you guys. Obviously, if you guys want more bets, you guys can go into the 9-to-5 tool yourself. Again, just a reminder, all the tools that you see available on this video are going to be available to you guys for just $10 a month. It's the best value out there for PGA DFS. If you guys want to sign up, head on over to 9to5sports.com. We are going to move on into the showdown portion of this video. So I do want to say that this is very much going to be an interesting day where like the regression stat that I like to look at is awesome. Okay, regression is basically which golfers played better or worse than expected and how much of that's like should be going on courses that typically play easy, that are easier to score on. I typically really want to go in on that. And so for the North course, I do think that that's something we could be targeting. At the same time, you look at some of the players that actually did play poorly: Matt Wallace, Max Homa, Patrick Fishburne. Maybe not too shocking, but then we go down to like Justin Lauer. He actually didn't play terribly, but didn't play well. Jason Day's in that mix. I'd be fine getting to him. Shane Lowry, someone there that I don't mind. He scored a lot, and we kind of expected Shane Lowry to be a little bit rusty, and wouldn't be surprising to see him shake off the rust here. But what are you seeing here, guys? What's the common theme here? All these golfers, this rank here for regression, all these golfers are golfers that did go off of the South course to start. So naturally speaking, yes, all the golfers that played on the North course are going to be golfers that are much more likely to play better in round 2. So we'll just go ahead and take a peek here at the Showdown ranks. We are already naturally sorting by the North course only, but we can see here, guys. So the Showdown rank here, and just as an FYI here, guys, some people get confused by this. So the Showdown rank is basically a priority rank. Okay. Whereas if you were to sort it by fantasy score, and we'll do that in just a second here, it's just telling you guys who is projected to score the most points. It's a little bit different than kind of the full data each and every week, but this is a priority rank. So how you guys should go about operating, like which players to get to. And so it's telling us that we want to start off with Jason Day. We kind of get why, right? Is someone that was a little bit hit or miss, should be able to go out and score here on this North course. and I'm fine with that. Tony Finau is a guy that can go and score. Shane Lowry is a guy that can go and score. And Hideki's not expected to really fall off. And just for what it's worth, guys, let's jump into this take real quick. So if you are someone that bets like on feature bets and you already placed some bets on the majors, I put this in the Discord. I'm like, one of the most clear bets we can make right now is actually Hideki to probably win a major, and most likely just the Masters. Okay, you look at all the top golfers right now on the PGA Tour, a lot of them are banged up, it seems like. They all withdrew from this event. A lot of them just not have had those competitive rounds that we would like to see. Now, yes, they will get that in before the Masters. We know that, but we also know that Hideki right now is playing elite golf. Already won, right? And we have seen him win at the Masters, and I don't expect his form to fall off. And he has good Masters course history. Like, that to me seems like one of the easier like feature bets we can be on. And if it doesn't work out, I just think it's a good spot to be on right now. And so guys, let's go ahead now and jump on into the 9-to-5 lineup builder. You can see that the projections are very much scaling for the North course, right, over the South course. Now, can a player like Gobert maybe still go out and play well on the South course? Yes, like that's not too crazy, but we want to be putting our best foot forward, and the best foot forward is going to be on the North course. And we are getting plenty of good golfers here on the North course where we don't have to go too crazy with it. If you guys recall last week, it was Sanjay's group where he was like the only good play for the Showdown slate. And then we just had a bunch of values to the point where it's like, all right, we got to finagle this a little bit. That's not the case here. We can just kind of go crazy with it, really. And so I just want to show you guys kind of what the data is telling us is going to be the most optimal build here. And you guys can decide for yourself if you guys like this approach. And so it is getting to Tony Finau. It is getting to Jason Day, Shane Lowry. I don't exactly like Max Homa, but if you guys want to get there, you can. Kurt Kitayama and JJ Spawn. So I mentioned I don't really like Max Homa. Let's show you guys what you can do here just real quickly. So we go to, and this is for 9-to-5 members. It's available for them, again, including $10 a month in your $10 a month membership there. And obviously we wouldn't do just like a random generate. What I actually like to do here is I like to do 3 unique players and about 30% max exposure. I really like to spread out my ownership, and we can even do a gradual increase of exposure. So that'll kind of scale the ownerships a little bit more, so it's a little bit more spread out. I'm going to put 1% randomness into it, again, to kind of get more of the field into here. So I'll generate this again. You guys will be able to see kind of what it's looking at a little bit more here. And so players, yes, it's much more spread out here. We are still getting a lot of Max Homa. Again, if I don't want to be on him, what we'll do here is we'll go back into the show usage. We'll click on the most recent one, and then we'll get to Max Homa. I'm going to clip his max ownership at about 20. That might even still be a little bit too high. We could go down the list and then do that. Maybe Patrick Fishburne, who we are seeing we're getting about 30% of. Maybe not as much as him. Maybe Matt Wallace, who I really actually don't like. Maybe 10%, but we are seeing getting enough spread out ownership that if we get the top end correct, Hideki, Tony, Sanjay, Jason Day, Shane Lowry, we should be sitting pretty. And obviously we do want to begin to those golfers. Now the biggest question we have is, do we want to begin to multiple pairs of those golfers? Do we want to create a rule here that says player groups I want to get to Hideki, I want to get to Tony Finau, I want to get to Sanjay? Like, can we put these guys all into a build together? Not all of them, but like I want at least 2 of those golfers in all those builds. Potentially. But if we do that, we probably have to increase the exposures to them. So let's increase their max exposures here to like 50 for all those top end guys. Then that'll make it work, because we're already telling the data we want to clip our exposure at about 30%. But by doing this, we're going to tell the data directly here that we're okay getting to 50% of those guys. So that should make the lineup builder work here. And actually it didn't. That was a little bit too low. So we got to increase it a little bit more. We'll do 60 for all of them. Again, I'm kind of okay with that. Doubling it, but should work better here. And that did work. So 60% there. And that way we are getting to those golfers as much as we would like to. And it's a little bit better there. And we can see it's already shaping up a little bit better. Actually, Daniel Berger, maybe we need to be on Berger a little bit less. He's coming in at 20%. I probably want like some lower projected guys, those random performances that are going to go off and do well. Now, guys, I wish I could give you guys some prize picks and underdog prop bets, but we just aren't getting any right now. Yesterday, actually, or round 1 went exactly as expected. It felt like we were getting some good edges, but we had 2 bets hit and 2 bets which were pushes, which again was kind of expected, but that was kind of the nature of just attacking that slate. So guys, so far throughout the 2025 season, all the bets that I've given out directly to you guys, whether on this video or on Twitter, one had missed, and that was Charlie Hoffman in the fourth round, where we were just trying to attack it again. So very good stuff there, honestly, for PrizePicks and Underdog. Again, if you guys want access to any and all of the tools that you saw in this video, head on over to 9to5sports.com. You guys can get access to all those for $10 a month. You guys will see the 9 to 5 right up here for the Farmers Insurance Open was right there. Again, set up pretty well right now. Hopefully things continue that way. Hopefully there's not any bad performances. If you guys want to get access to that write-up and maybe don't want to sign up for a membership, head on to the bottom of the page. Just put your email in there. That'll give you guys notifications whenever I do a write-up, and I don't really push too many email notifications. It's literally just for the write-ups pretty much. But again, if you guys want access to the tools, head on over to the pricings and plans tab. Get access to those for $10 a month. That's going to do it for today's video, guys. Appreciate you being here. That is all. Good luck. And as always, let's keep cashing.